Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Hero's Journey Inward Session 5. I encourage you to go back and watch sessions 1 through 4. This is the journey within, finding your true purpose and becoming your best self. I'm the author of The Hero's Journey Inwards, the ego's journey to the soul. I believe there's a hero's journey in each side inside each one of us, and the journey of life is a journey of self-knowledge where we begin to answer the question, who am I? You can discover your hero power within yourself, contained in the soul, and we have to take the journey there. So, have you asked these questions? Because we are going on a quest and it's all about asking these questions. What's the purpose of my life? How can I be my best self? And for this, we have to understand the workings of the inner self. So I invite you to think of your life as a holy archetypal journey, holy meaning sacred and worthy of your complete devotion. And archetypal meaning important, universal, with similar characteristics, meaning there's a pattern to this journey. And this isn't an inside journey to get anywhere, really. It's a journey, you might think of it to arrive at the seat of your soul. So your heroic journaling journey begins now. I'll offer you some powerful questions and transformational journaling sessions so you can pause anytime you need to. This is the journey of consciousness we're taking from the ego to the soul, from the known to the unknown. What if we took a spiritual path inwards? Where would we go? So, the hero's journey is this circular path from the ordinary world to the special world into the subconscious. You'll definitely want to pair this with walking, nature, yoga. As you know, I'm trained in the Kripalu lineage of yoga, and it works very well with doing a body practice and a writing practice. So, you might want to think about combining this journaling journey with walking after or before, yoga after or before. Find what works for you. This is the inner self. This is your inner battery, two ways of being, the dark and the lightness of you. This is two ways of seeing, and we have to embrace the paradox. And this is where we are conflicted inside. How can we be so kind yet so cruel? So generous yet so stingy, withholding, or greedy? We have to embrace this paradox. We have to understand the paradox. We have to know which way we're seeing from, because you can be triggered into this and you can be launched into that. Just to have a near death experience, and this really does shine through. Just get afraid of first survival, your own survival financially, and see how this can be triggered. So this is an emanation of fear. This is the essence of our true self. And we create this inner self as we go along in life. And that's why this is about self discovery. So, this is a self help workshop designed to bring out the best in you. So, meaning self work, you do the work, you pause, you write out this question, you work with a spiritual coach, spiritual director. We're aiming to get a hero's mindset, identify the steps and stages so that we know where we are on the journey. We're not as lost as we think we are. And the key is to access the soul to be our best self. I've identified some soul steps and stages. This was inspired from my 12 step work and understanding the 12 step principles and why they're so effective in many different areas. So, what steps can we take to become a hero? We're all the way over here, finally, to inventorying the calls we have heard to help ourselves and others. And then honoring, hearing, recognizing, and sharing them with a safe support person, those mentors, buddies, allies, guides that we need on this hero's journey. And a vow and a pledge to answer the call and create a personal soul's mission. So we first had to understand what's happening inside ourselves, what we will need for this journey, what we don't want to take on this journey, to hearing these important calls, the call to adventure. So, session 5 is a transformational journaling journey to hearing the call, acknowledging the calls you've heard, honoring them in some way, answering the calls in some way. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be 100% of your time working on the calls or continuing the calls. So the step is to make an inventory and a list of the calls you have heard. You can pause this now and start that list. The call to help this area of the world, that area of life, these particular vulnerable people, whatever it is. And then the step to honor and recognize your calls, sharing them with a safe person. So please very carefully pick your mentors with great discernment. One mentor with an agenda who hasn't removed their own self from the equation of spiritual director and letting you hear yourself can influence you negatively. I mean, they can influence you positively too, but make sure you're not pulled out of the missions that are unique to you. We're all designed very differently to hear certain calls and to help in various areas that might be very different than the mentor that we're picking. And then this other step is to vow and pledge to answer the call and write a personal mission statement. That's very powerful for companies. They lead the charge for nonprofits. They carry out their mission and gather funding. It's very powerful to make a personal mission statement. Your PMS will be your GPS, your personal mission statement. So write your personal mission statement and share it with a safe person. It can be a therapist, life coach, sponsor, minister, spiritual director. And then, as you know, since you've seen the wheel last time and the cogs and how heroes are churned up and down and in and out, there will be the next step, which is the refusal of the call. So you have the option to write your refusals, your ego's refusals of the call. Pause here if you need to do this transformational journaling exercise in this journey within. This is the ego's journey to the soul, and you are now right here. There's you as we were understanding ourselves, and now we're hearing the call to go help ourselves and to know ourselves. And there's that refusal before we start doing this self work. So here is the call and the refusal of the call for the hero on the hero's journey before they cross the threshold. And just know that you might need help with the call, understanding the call, interpreting the call. This is where we are to begin the journey. There's phases, and you are right here with this adjustment of, okay, there's a call. I'm acknowledging it. Now, how do I adjust my life to answer this call, to take action, and to embark on the phases of the hero's journey inwards? So, if you've heard this call to do the self work, to change, to heal the traumas, the triggers, then you're going on this journey. Here's a recap for connecting. If you can't access those calls, which will come from your soul, a higher power, can come from within and sometimes feel like it came from outside of you. Get into meditation, prayer, walking, yoga, start journaling your gratitude. Go to these tools for whatever will work, or maybe go to a sanctuary and listen for what comes up to hear the call. When you hear it, if the ego immediately jumps in with a refusal of the call, you're welcome to journal that, just separate it so that you know which is which, what's talking to you and what's answering with fear. So you can out the ego in those journaling. So join me in your journaling journey on Facebook. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more of these free webinars and writing assignments. These will be done in groups. And I do have a free blog. And just know the world needs heroes and the world needs you. So please take your own personal hero's journey inwards and become the hero that you need and then the hero that we need in the world. You can continue your own personal journey by picking up my book, available on Amazon. I just want to read to you one of the daily readers. This one's about being lost in the labyrinth of life, passing and the tests and learning to navigate. And after we cross that threshold, this is where we will find ourselves a bit lost. And there's a quote here from Nelson Mandela. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged, to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Are you lost? On the hero's journey, we are on a quest with questions. Who are we? What is the purpose of our life? The road isn't paved because the adventure is our own. There are twists and turns in life, including detours. We set out not knowing where we're going, and in experience, hopefully finding something out there that resonates with something in here. We are lost in trying to find ourselves, but we keep changing, evolving, and discovering more mysteries. We aren't born knowing ourselves. This is what we discover in self discovery. This is what we seek to know ourselves and understand our own functioning. When we know ourselves, we begin to know others and unlock some of the mysteries. We come to see that we have choices that we didn't know we had. We have the choice to go left or right. We have the choice to think negatively or positively. We have choices to feel self pity and cursed with lack, or to feel immensely blessed with what we have. We want to be guided by our true self. Without a mentor or guide, without a GPS or a connection with a higher power, through listening or through our listening soul, we will get lost in the labyrinth. Navigating the labyrinth is a test we have to pass. We have heard a calling and have set out, but now we find our way to the center of ourselves. We all start out with an excited ego, searching for things in the outer world to fulfill an inner void, thinking we're on a mission. However, on the ego's journey to the soul, we're seeking an inner treasure and to return with that light. This means daily connection. This may include checking in hourly, daily, to see if we're on task and on track with what matters to us. There's so many distractions for the ego to get off course. There's also the ego that believes it can find its own way without asking for directions, without planning for the mission, and without spiritual guidance. This is one way we practice self-defeat and why we have to battle ourselves for who is in control of our choices. Oftentimes, this isn't a journey to get anywhere, it's a journey to arrive. For those of us on the ego's journey, we can check with the identified steps and stages of the hero's journey to see where we are in the circle or the cycle. Knowing where we are, like in the dark night of the soul, where the ego has overshadowed the soul like an eclipse, and we wait for the breakthrough of the light, can be very helpful. We can get supernatural strength when we've fallen into the pit of despair and gotten to a bottom by connecting with a higher power. The zigzag path or the spiral staircase can become frustrating and tiresome when we have to relearn the same lessons. We all want shortcuts to an empowered self and healthy self-esteem, but just like the refusal of the call follows the call, we have to get lost before we find our way. The labyrinth represents life's maze of lessons. We have to have a hero's mindset and a warrior spirit. Bring our brains, armors, maps, golden threads, symbols. Our attitude and our approach to life matters because it's how we will experience the challenges. We have patterns that we play out in life. Let's look at our patterns. What choices get us lost or feeling like we're in the wrong woods? What is our best tool for connecting to guidance within and navigating a test or challenge within the labyrinth of life? The truth is that we are changed by the journey. For each turn we take, we are different. Sometimes we're more frustrated, more aware, or more skilled and less surprised. The hero's journey is what makes the hero. Being lost is part of the requirement for being found. With each failure, we can savor that moment when success finally comes. With each failure, we learn something new. Our lessons are found in being lost. The journey of life is a journey of self-knowledge where we begin to answer the question, who am I? Today, be okay with the lost part of life. We can embrace the mystery and the lessons we are learning, finding our way around the complexities and the walls and the barriers. The uncertainty of life is certain, just like change is constant. We are certain to be lost, but that's how we will find ourselves. The end quote says, embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title till much later. Bob Goff. Thank you for listening to the Hero's Journey Inwards workshop webinar number 3. If you like this, like and subscribe for more free workshops and groups and announcements. The challenge that you can present to yourself is go back and watch videos 1 through 5 in order and focus on becoming the hero that you have been waiting for. Thank you for so much for listening.